Nope. Hold up. Giving goes beyond. And why is it still doing that? Okay. Peace and blessings to you all. All praises, honor, and glory goes to who? The Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The one who supplies us everything we need. The one who knows our needs before we even ask for it. All praises to the Most High. Hey, Muhammad, blessings to you. I pray you all are doing well. Those watching on the replay, those tuning in, may the Most High be with you. I pray He's working in your life, being active, showing His grace and His mercy upon you, extending His forgiveness unto you. And I pray that He's meeting your every need. But we've got to discern what is our needs and what is our wants. Because sometimes we're asking Him, Father, provide me with this. Help fulfill this need in my life. When that need you think of may not actually be a need. And so it's important that we check ourselves, get an understanding of what is our needs and what is our wants, so that we don't cross the two and disappoint ourselves by not getting what we think we need when it's something we want. Topic tonight is giving goes beyond generosity. There's more to it than being generous. A lot of times people associate generosity and giving with money. This isn't always true. There's more to it than financial giving, financial generosity. We're going to open up in 2 Corinthians. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 9. Matthew, hello, blessings to you. Thank you for joining. I pray this is edifying to you all. May you all get some value out of it. Let the Spirit move. Let Him minister to you. See where this might play into your life. Something you need, something that you may need to exercise, or something that you can reflect on of how over the years people have been generous to you and where it's helped get you to where you're at today, or helped you get through something challenging that you once went through by somebody else giving what it's done in your life. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6 through 15. The point is this: whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. Whoever sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. Each one must give as he has decided in his heart, not reluctantly or under compulsion. For Yah loves a cheerful giver, and Yah is able to make all grace abound to you, so that having all sufficiency in all things at all times, you may abound in every good work. As it is written, He has distributed freely, He has given to the poor. His righteousness endures forever. Verse 10. He who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will supply and multiply your seed for sowing and increase the harvest of your righteousness. You will be enriched in every way to be generous in every way, which through us will produce thanksgiving to Yah. For the ministry of this service is not only supplying the needs of the saints, but is also overflowing in many thanksgivings to Elohim. By their approval of this service, they will glorify Yah because of your submission that comes from your confession of the gospel of Mashiach and the generosity of your contribution for them and for all others. While they long for you and pray for you because of the surpassing grace of Yah upon you, thanks be to Yah for his inexpressible gift. If you guys didn't catch that, verse 12 and 13, starting with 12. For the ministry of this service is not only supplying the needs of the saints, but is also overflowing in many thanksgiving to Yah. 13. By their approval of this service, they will glorify Yah because of your submission that comes from your confession of the gospel of Mashiach and the generosity of your contribution for them and for all others. So verse 12, for the ministry of this service is not only supplying the needs of the saints. Generosity, giving goes beyond generosity. You may not even be aware of it. Like, okay, I'm just helping this person out. What's the big deal? But what you're doing that you don't know of. Later in the verse says, but is also overflowing in many thanksgiving to Elohim, to Yah. And by you giving to this person in whatever need they have, it's not always money, monetary things. Sometimes it could be the shirt, extra shirts. Sometimes it could be, you got some spare snacks. Maybe they just need, a word of encouragement. They've been feeling down. They've been going through some challenges that they haven't mentioned. They've been fighting some battles that go unseen. And by you just giving a word of encouragement or a simple, hey, have a good day. Showing that you care, letting them know that somebody cares for them. By you doing this, you're also giving thanks to Yah. Second Corinthians 9 and 12. For the ministry of this service is not only supplying the needs of the saints, not only supplying the needs of that person, but is also overflowing in many thanksgiving to Yah. Another aspect of it, giving goes beyond generosity, is you're letting the Father know that you're grateful for what you have. A lot of times when we get something or we get an excess of something, we tend to like to hold on to it. Like, oh, I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through the week with this. I better hold on to it. I don't know what kind of unexpected repairs are going to come up. I don't know what kind of emergencies may arise. And so we get stingy, we get selfish. We act out of fear and we hold tight. We grip onto what we think we need. But when somebody has a need and you help them out, what you're doing is you're showing the Father that you trust him. You're showing him that you're grateful for what he has supplied you with. And this lets him know that you're able to trust him to supply the rest of it. Let me backtrack a little bit. By you giving, Whether you know it or not, you're showing the Father that you're able to trust Him to restore what you're losing out on. You may be like, oh man, this is my last something, or this is all I have for the week. Robert, hello. Blessings to you. All right. And as you guys have questions, comments, drop them in the chat. We'll go over questions later. Let's try to focus on the topic right now. Giving goes beyond generosity. John. Let's go to the book of John 6. Hold up. Logan Martell, thank you. Blessings to you. May the Father restore. Back to you. All right. John chapter 6, verse 1 through 14. After this, Yeshua went away to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, which is the Sea of Tiberias. And a large crowd was following him because they saw the signs that he was doing on the sick. Yeshua went up on the mountain, and there he sat down with his disciples. Now the Passover, the feast of the Jews, was at hand. Lifting up his eyes then, and seeing that a large crowd was coming toward him, Yeshua said to Philip, "Where are we to buy bread so that these people may eat?" He said this to test him, for he himself knew what he would do. Philip answered him, 200 denarii worth of bread would not be enough for each of them to get a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, "There is a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what are they for so many?" Yeshua said, "Have the people sit down." Now there was much grass in the place, so the men sat down about 5,000 in number. Yeshua then took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed them to those who were seated. So also the fish, as much as they wanted. Reading to verse 14. This is verse 12 now. And when they had eaten their fill, he told his disciples, "Gather up the leftover fragments, that nothing may be lost." So they gathered them up and filled 12 baskets with fragments from the 5 barley loaves left by those who had eaten. When the people saw the sign that he had done, they said, "This is indeed the prophet who is to come into the world." So Yeshua feeds 5,000. Where was it? With 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. You think he can't provide your need? Here you are, you're wondering, like, how am I going to get through the rest of the week? This person needs my help. This is all I got. Try thinking about 5,000 people getting fed off of 5 loaves of bread and only 2 fish. 5,000 people, 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread. That's a whole lot to feed. But here we are, when we get something, we get stingy, we get this mindset of scarcity where we need to cleave to what we have, or we lack faith that the Father can restore it or provide more. And so we gripe, we complain, we murmur, we doubt giving it. The Most High knows your every need. Mark chapter 12. 41 to 44. Giving goes beyond generosity. That's the topic tonight. This is Mark chapter 12, verse 41 to 44. And he sat down opposite the treasury and watched the people putting money into the offering box. Many rich people put in large sums, and a poor widow came and put in 2 small copper coins, which make a penny. And he called his disciples to him and said to them, "Truly I say to you, this poor widow has put in more than all those who are contributing to the offering box. For they all contributed out of their abundance, but she out of her poverty has put in everything she had, all she had to live on." Let me pull up the full chapter real quick. 41 to 44. Yeah, that's the end of it. Okay. Mark chapter 12, verse 41 to 44. And he sat down opposite the treasury and watched the people putting money into the offering box. Many rich people put in large sums, and a poor widow came and put in 2 small copper coins, which make a penny. And he called his disciples to him and said to them, "Truly I say to you, this poor widow has put in more than all those who are contributing to the offering box, for they all contributed out of their abundance. But she out of her poverty has put in everything she had, all she had to live on." The Father's going to check your heart. A lot of people like to say, "Yah knows my heart." And that's true. He knows your heart. He also knows that it's desperately wicked. You may think you're doing a great service by providing big amounts, being extra generous. But Yah checks the motives. He checks your intentions. And he's going to analyze whether or not they're pure. You may think you're doing a great service, but if your intentions are off, if you don't have pure motives in what you're doing, it's not going to amount the same as if somebody who had less gave all. This poor widow, she put in more than all the people who had given more. And why is that? Because she gave all that she had. And so she was looked upon with more favor. Yah's going to lift up the lowly and humble. Don't think too high and mighty of yourself just because you're giving more of something. Matthew 6. We're going to Matthew chapter 6. So to follow back on Mark 12, 41 to 44, and how Yah knows your heart, he's going to analyze your motives. He's going to check if your intentions are pure or not. Listen to this. Mark 6. Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven. Thus, when you give to the needy, sound no trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be praised by others. Truly, I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Further along, verse 25 to 44. Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Verse 26, look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if Yah so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Therefore do not be anxious, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the Gentiles seek after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them all. But seek first the kingdom of Yah and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. 34. Therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. Yah loves a cheerful giver. Generosity, giving goes beyond generosity. I keep mixing them up, but giving goes beyond generosity. In Matthew chapter 6, 25 to 34, it's explaining how the Father already knows your every need, and he's going to provide for you, and reminding us not to worry about, oh, where are we going to get our next meal? What clothes are we going to wear? What am I going to have for this if I give that, or if I'm lacking in this area? Back to that scarcity mindset. When you are reluctant, when you are hesitant about giving, operating out of fear, selfishness, pride, lack of faith that the Father can't restore it back to you, fearing that you're going to miss out and not be able to survive the rest of the week, or survive the rest of the month, or, man, if I give this away, how am I going to be able to manage this? What kind of thing am I going to be able to use if I give this away? Where am I going to find another one if I give this? Verse 25, therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Giving goes beyond generosity. You're showing the Father that you can trust he's going to find you a new one. You're exemplifying your faith that he will restore what you're so-and-so losing out. by giving away. Psalm 111. Matthew 6 was a reminder not to worry about it. Look, if somebody's got a need and they reach out to you and you have it, even if it's your last or you don't have much abundance of it, they obviously need it more than you if they're reaching out. So why hold back? Oh, what's that other verse? Don't tell them come back when you have it in your power to give. We'll get to Psalm 11 when it's in your power to do verse. Proverbs 3:27. Yeah. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due when it is in your power, when it is in the power of your hand to do it. Look, if somebody's reaching out for your help, they're reaching out to ask you for assistance, and you have the ability to help them. Oh, but this is my last thing. I'm not. How am I going to get through the rest of the week? All these little excuses, all these doubts start creeping in. But you have it, and you're able to give it. The fact that somebody's reaching out to ask for your assistance goes to show you they need it more than you. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been asking. Generally speaking, some people play on that and they like to take advantage. But generally speaking, when somebody reaches out for assistance, they need it more than you do. And so who are we to say, come back tomorrow, come back next week, when it's in your power to give it? Don't withhold good to who it's due. Giving goes beyond generosity. Psalm 111. Psalm chapter 111. 111. Giving goes beyond generosity. I got verse 5 down, but I think I want to start with verse 1. Psalm 111, verse 1. Praise Yahweh. I will give thanks to Yahweh with my whole heart. In the company of the upright, in the congregation. Great are the works of Yahweh, studied by all who delight in them. Full of splendor and majesty is his work, and his righteousness endures forever. He has caused his wondrous works to be remembered. Yahweh is gracious and merciful. Verse 5. He provides food for those who fear him. He remembers his covenant forever. He has shown his people the power of his works in giving them the inheritance of the nations. The works of his hands are faithful and just. All his precepts are trustworthy. They are established forever and ever to be performed with faithfulness and uprightness. He sent redemption to his people. He has commanded his covenant forever. Holy and awesome is his name. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. All those who practice it have a good understanding. His praise endures forever. Verse 5, he provides food for those who fear him. He remembers his covenant forever. Verse 6, he has shown his people the power of his works in giving them the inheritance of the nations. Verse 9, he sent redemption to his people. He has commanded his covenant forever. Holy and awesome is his name. You don't think he can't redeem you? You really think he's not capable of redeeming you? Remember, Yah loves a cheerful giver. They who sow sparingly shall reap sparingly. Yahweh sees it. And he is full well able to redeem you, restore what you are losing out on, or what you think you're losing out on, but really there's a much greater gain. That reminds me, better it is to give than to receive. Better it is to give than to receive. What verse is that? Acts chapter 20, verse 35. In all things I have shown you that by working hard in this way, we must help the weak and remember the words of Yahweh, Yeshua, how he himself said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. It is more blessed to give than to receive. So you may think you're missing out. You may think you're losing something. But in reality, you're gaining a much greater reward. Die to your flesh. Die to your selfish ways. Where are we at? Sirach? The book of Ecclesiasticus? Out of the Apocrypha. Sirach 20 and 30, man. Sirach chapter 20 and 30. And 30. Wisdom that is not expressed is like a treasure that has been hidden. Both are useless. Sirach 20 and 30. Wisdom that is not expressed is like a treasure that has been hidden. Both are useless. What good is knowledge and wisdom if it's not shared? Like I stated earlier, a lot of times people think giving, generosity, all this ties to money or materialism. Sometimes it could just be the lessons you've learned in life. Sharing something that somebody has taught you. You know, a lot of times growing up, I had other people pour into me, whether they be older peers, employers, co-workers. A lot of people over the years have poured into me. Not everything was pertaining to righteousness, but it may have been valuable in an area of life. And here's something too. There has been advice, there has been wisdom that doesn't pertain to righteousness, but it has helped me to understand foolishness. If that makes any sense. Some advice So here's an example. The right way to sin. There's no right way for unrighteousness. If you're going to be unrighteous, here's the right way to do it. There's no such thing. Sin is sin. And so advice that wasn't pertaining to righteousness has still helped me out by letting me be a fool and learn the error of that foolishness, the consequences of it. Sirach 20 and 30, wisdom that is not expressed is like a treasure that has been hidden. Both are useless. Giving goes beyond generosity. It doesn't always pertain to materialism, money. It could be wisdom that you've gained over the years. A valuable lesson that somebody has taught you. Share that. Just like a treasure that is hidden. What good is it? It's useless. Wisdom that is not shared, wisdom that is not expressed, is useless. It won't do any good keeping that to yourself. And here's something too, with giving goes beyond generosity. You could learn something very knowledgeable, very wise, and somebody else maybe has less experience, maybe less information or knowledge and wisdom than you have, and they're making foolish decisions, or they're going down a path that you once went down. Why let them suffer? Why hold back sound wisdom that could save them a lifetime of heartache, a lifetime of pain and suffering, or financial burden? Why hold back wisdom that could prevent them from losing their life or taking the life of somebody else? Giving goes beyond generosity. You may have a word of advice for somebody and you think lightly of it. Like, what impact does that have? Little do you know, you could be saving somebody's life. You could be preventing a situation from making news headline. I'm going to say it again. Sirach 20 and 30. Wisdom that is not expressed, wisdom that is not shared, is like a treasure that has been hidden. Both are useless. There's no use in keeping that to yourself. You would be amazed at the level of impact you could have, or the difference you can make in a situation just by sharing a piece of advice, giving some words of wisdom. Like I say, you could stop something from breaking news headline. You could save somebody their life. Don't ever think what you're giving is too small. Don't ever think that. You may be surprised the impact it could have. Matthew, last one before we close out. Matthew 10 and 8. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out demons. You received without paying, give without pay. I don't like that version. Freely you give, freely you receive, freely you shall give. Freely you have received, freely you shall give. All right, AMP, Amplified. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. As the Father provides for you, whether it be knowledge, tools, experience, food, clothing, share that. When a brother or sister is in need and it's in your power to do so, don't hold that love to yourself. By doing this, you're showing him that you could trust him to provide more. Here's a situation example. All praise, honor, and glory goes to the Father. I want to share something with you that goes to show the power of his ability to restore and to redeem. Someone reached out to me, they needed assistance, and I was hesitant. I was like, this is all I got. It's only this day. I got to make it to this time. And it frustrated me. I'm not going to lie. I was frustrated because I would have been down to my last, or all out for that matter. I think I told them like a day or so, give me some time to think on it. I'll get back with you, something like that. And here's another point. Y'all loves a cheerful giver. If you're not ready to give, if you're not in a good spirit to give, wait a day. Wait 2 days. Whatever it takes for you. Make sure your spirit is right when you're giving, so that there's no unclean spirits associated with that. The spiritual realm is very real. But back to the point. Somebody asked for help. If I helped them, I wouldn't have been able to get through the rest of the week. And I was hesitant. I was kind of frustrated, like, man, this is all I got. So I think I told them, like, wait, I'll get back with you. Waited a day or something. And I ended up giving it to them. Ended up helping them out. Later in the week, an unexpected tip comes in. It supplies just what I needed to finish off the week. Here I was all out. Didn't know where the next one would come from. Didn't know how I'd get through the rest of the week. Didn't know how I'd take care of this matter, provide for that thing. But I humbled myself down and I said, all right, the fact that they're reaching out to me, they obviously need it more than me. Who am I to hold back when I have the ability to do it? Who am I to hold back? It's in my power to give whether I like it or not. But by me giving, it allowed me to learn that the Father is full and well able to restore. And he will honor that. Die to your flesh. Turn from your selfish ways. Don't be too greedy, too stingy. I pray this is edifying to you. May this impact you somewhere in your life. Let it meditate on this. Let it marinate and see where it might tie into your life, an area, aspect, wherever it is you are. All praise, honor, and glory goes to the Holy One. Giving goes beyond generosity. Show the Father that you can trust him to redeem you and to restore unto you. Don't hold that love back to yourself. Peace and blessings to you all. May the Most High be with you the rest of the week. Glory to the King. Bless y'all.